အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာပါခင်ဗျာကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနေ့ကျိတ်တဟုတ်ရဲ့၈ခုမြောက် webinar ဖြစ်တဲ့ Extracurricular Activity for US Colleges ဆိုတဲ့အဲ webinar လေးကနေပြီးတော့မှအားလုံးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကြိုဆိုလိုက်ပါတယ်ဒီနေ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ Zoom meeting ဖြစ်မြောက်ရေးအတွက်ကူညီပေးထားတာတော့ကျွန်တော် The Forward Academy ကဖြစ်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ The Forward Academy မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းကျွန်တော် English Proficiency Test တစ်ခုဖြစ်တဲ့ Duolingo English Test ကိုလည်းပဲ class တွေဖွင့်လှစ်သင်ကြားပေးနေတာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်စိတ်ဝင်စားလို့ရှိရင်လည်းသူတို့ page မှာတွားရောက်ပြီးတော့မှစုံစမ်းနိုင်နေဆိုတဲ့အကြောင်းလေးကိုလည်းပဲကျွန်တော်ပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်ဒီနေ့မှာတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ Extracurricular Activity for Colleges ကိုဆွေးနွေးပေးမယ်speaker ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ Jade တခုရဲ့ admission advisor လည်းဖြစ်တယ်လို့ Brown University ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ financial aid $6300ကျော်နဲ့ဝင်ခွင့်ရထားတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့မှယုံကြည်အောင်ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုအနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကနေဆွေးနွေးပွဲလေးပြီးသွားတဲ့ခါကျလို့ရှိရင်မေးချင်တဲ့ကျွန်တော်မေးခွန်းလေးတွေရှိလို့ရှိရင်လည်းပဲအောက်မှာရှိတဲ့ Q&A section ကနေပြီးတော့မှကျွန်တော်တို့မေးမြန်းနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတော့လည်းပဲကျွန်တော်ပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်ဟုတ်အဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ speaker ကိုဖိတ်ခေါ်လိုက်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာမင်္ဂလာပါခင်ဗျာ
Thank you for the introduction. So I'll start now, right?
Yes.
Hi everyone. Welcome to my webinar. My name is Wendy, or you can call me Wendy. So for today, I'll be discussing about extracurricular activities for US colleges. And so a little background about me is that I switched from a British curriculum school. I took IGCSE first. I took 7 subjects, and then beyond my 11th grade mama, I switched to Yangon Academy International School. So it was very new to me. I did not know what extracurricular activities were. I felt like I was very far behind since everyone was starting their extracurricular activities since 9th grade. But regardless, it turned out to be okay. About me is that I'm an incoming freshman at Brown University. I'm class of 2028. I applied Brown during my regulars, so I was accepted on IB Day. My concentrations are that I was accepted to public health, Brown School of Public Health, but I'm also double concentrating in neuroscience. So I received 63,876 per academic year. So when I was applying, it was need aware, which means it was a factor that I was asking for financial aid. But the good news is that Brown will go need blind this year for international students starting from class of 2029. And yes, I applied to Brown SAT optional. I didn't submit SATs, but unfortunately, Brown will require SATs from now on. So without further ado, let's get started. So what are extracurricular activities? Extracurricular activities are those things you do outside your regular classes. They can be anything from sports and clubs to volunteering, creative pursuits, and even part-time jobs. These activities are your chance to explore your passion, develop new skills, and make a difference in your community. So colleges want to know more about you than just your grades, your test scores. Because let's say you have a perfect SAT, and there are thousands of applicants who are applying to the same university as you, and almost a lot of them already has the same stats as you. They probably has better like SAT or even better like AP scores, IB scores. So the only thing that you can differentiate yourself from others is your essays and your extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities show the admission counselors, admission officers, your passion, interests, and how you spend your free time. They can also showcase your skills like leadership, teamwork, or dedication. So if you're not very familiar with what extracurricular were, so let's imagine that you're a student who is very passionate about music, right? So what can you do to showcase this passion of yours? You can join an after-school club, a choir, or an a cappella group, etc. Don't worry if your school doesn't have any of those clubs because you can ask your teachers and you can create your own club or even your own band. In YA, in my school, there is there's a own student-led band. You can participate in music competitions. You can organize your own performances, solo recitals, participate in school recitals, or you can even volunteer as a music teacher. For me, I also had an extracurricular related to music. Uh, However, it wasn't a school related thing at all. I was, I learned piano outside of school, and what I wrote was that I, I participated in piano competitions as well as performing in wedding ceremonies and religious ceremonies. So these are the type of things that are known as extracurriculars that you do outside your classroom, outside academics. So let's see how Common App asks about extracurriculars. So in the Common App, there are 27 categories to choose what your activity falls under, right? And I've listed, I think, almost all of them. And I will give you an example just so that you understand what activities fall under each categories. So let's talk about academics. So for academics, like you can you can put activities such as like science competitions or like there's like math Olympian teams in Myanmar. If you are a leader there or a participant there, you can put that activity under academics. Or even like if you have a math club or like a homework club, after school homework club, those also fall under academics. So for art, it's very simple. It's like my school has an art club, so it's either like those school art exhibitions or those art clubs where you have workshops every week. Yeah. So for athletics, there's athletics club and varsity club. So I didn't, I chose athletics club in my Common App. What I wrote about athletics club was, it was not from my school. I went um, to equestrian club every weekend. So I wrote about it just like a club that I joined so that I can have like a range of activities to put. So for athletics, varsity, it's those teams that you see on school competitions or Bowen Solution. Those are known as varsity. You represent your school, right? So career oriented is stuff like shadowing a doctor, for example, or shadowing like an intern or stuff like that to that relates to your major or what career you want to go to. Community service volunteering is very self-explanatory, right? So for computer and technology, uh, that and robotics are sometimes very similar. So computer technology are for those people who knows how to code, who's in like like a web development clubs and stuff like that. So yeah, correct. Cultural. Cultural is stuff like um, for example, Southeast Asia Culture Association Club. If you have a club like that, put it under that category. For here, you can talk about like Burmese culture. If you have Burmese culture events like Dinjan, if you organize those type of stuff, you can put it under cultural. Dance is also very much self-explanatory, and robotics. I in my Common App activity list, I put robotics in it because I had a STEM club at my school. So there it's different from computer and technology because we didn't really code, but we built like we built designs based off Legos and like robots and stuff. And we had like robotics competitions for kids. So that falls under robotics. School spirits. I'm not sure if most schools have this. My old school didn't have like a school spirit like organized stuff. So for YA, however, we have pep rallies. And usually it's the Stuco that arranges this stuff, right? So if you're in Stuco and if you are like a pep rally organizer or like, those sports day organizers, you can, or even like if you partake in those competitions, you can put your activity under school spirit category. Debate or speech. Debate or speech is usually in international school, there's a club, there's there's a club called MUN, Model United Nations. So for there you pretty much debate and like you improve your speech and you like go for public speaking skills and stuff like that. So sometimes it doesn't really have to be MUN too. If you have debate competitions at your school annually, and if you participate in those, or either you organize those things, you can put that under debate and speech category. Environmental is something like, I think you guys might heard of this before, Trash Hero. It's very famous. So if you are a member there who helps clean up and or like if your school has environmental club that spreads awareness, then you can put that activity under this category. Family responsibility is also very it's also a very impressive category. So as much as you think it's simple, like if you have sibling that you tutor every night, if you take care of your family's finances, like those small things, you can write it down in your extracurriculars. Foreign exchange program, it's like it's foreign exchange program for like students, like you study abroad in America or in Europe for a while, for a year or so, or even a few months, you can write about it. And I think that you can search it in US embassy websites for foreign exchange student programs. Foreign language gale, it's the same thing. If you have like a club that um, like a French club or a Chinese club that you tutor your juniors or other people to like French, Chinese, even Burmese, you can write about it. Internship is also very self-explanatory. I put internship in my Common App. So what I did was I was a medical assistant in Mingla Clinic. So there I shadowed my the doctor that I worked with, and I helped and then I helped patients. So that's like that's an example of internship. So journalism and publication. I also wrote that in my Common App. So what I did was I had a newspaper club, and there you publish like magazines and issues, right? It doesn't always have to be a club. If you have your own publication or journalism if you write your own stuff online even. Like if you just post on Facebook or whatever, if you think that's important to you, then you can write it under here too. Music, instrument, or vocal. That's also very self-explanatory. Like I said, like I played piano, right? And I played piano for weddings and religious ceremonies. So I also wrote that under there. But if you're also in like choir or band, you can put that activity under this category. For religious, um, if you if you are a youth leader in either churches, if you volunteer in church, or if you volunteer in monasteries every week, every month, you can put it under there. Or even those like there are lots of communities that you can find for religious. Since in Myanmar, if you go to like Shiragong Pagoda or something, there are people who are willing to like welcome you to help out in on the pagoda. Those are all under religious. So research is something that I did quite a lot in my Common App. So for research, it's either if you like make if you write a research paper or if you actually was like a research assistant or research assistant, then with a professor, of course, then you can put it under the category research. Science and math. Science and math got it. It's quite similar to academics too, if you think about it. Like if you are a competitor in math Olympiad, then you can put it under here too. So what like a tip that I want to give is that if you have several activities that overlaps like these categories, pick the ones that are different. Like okay, so if you have like different math Olympiad and science Olympiad, then you can either put like one for academics and another one under science/math. Because if you have a wider range of activities, that's what like that shows the admission officer that you did quite a lot. Okay, so another thing. Let's see how Common App asks about extracurriculars. So a few things that you need to keep in mind is that number of activities. No matter how many activities you did, you can only list up to 10 activities. So, but even if you don't have 10 activities, you don't have to worry. Uh, I suggest that you always look after quality over quantity. So for here, word count is that each activity description, including your position, your organization name, and your accomplishment, is limited to a total of 150 characters. That is not a lot. That's like only like two sentences at least. So you need to be very concise when you write about it. So first, position, leadership, role. So don't just say a member. If you hold a leadership role like president, captain, or committee chair, make sure you highlight that. Another thing is organization name, which has 100 characters. So keep it clear and concise. For example, for me, what I suggest you to do is I usually write a name. This is just a random name. Orchids Clinic, Yangon. Because mind you that those admission officers have no idea what your organization is, let alone even they might have only like they might have heard of Myanmar but not Yangon. So you need to make sure that like what you do is real. You want to show that it's real and like if they sometimes if they search it up, like they can see it. And so Orchids Clinic Yangon instead of medical clinic because there are lots of medical clinic here. Like which clinic did you work at, you know? So for description is 150 characters. This is your chance to shine. Briefly mention the nature of the activity, your key contribution, and any significant achievement. Did you organize a fundraising event? Did you win an award? Quantify your impact as much as possible. Instead of saying raised money for animal shelter, you have to put like raise how much money for animal shelter, raise $500 for animal shelter, how many animals, So if you show like your impact, how much you did, that's way much more impressive than just saying, oh, I raised money for animal shelter. So this is what you will see on Common App. As you see, there's activity type, position, organization name, uh, like the description of your activity. So a very important tip, a very important reminder that most students always seem to forget is listing your activities in order of importance. So let's say you are a member of environmental club. I was let's let's use me as an example. I was a member of environmental club, just a member. All I did was help clean up and participate in their workshops. I didn't really do much, but I was a president of Girl Up club. So if I put member of environmental club at the top and I put president of some club that I did at the bottom, that that's not very impressive. The thing is that you need to put the most impressive, the most time, like the most thing that you did and on the top so that you can impress the admission officer when they read it. Another thing is how can you write a compelling description? So this here, I gave an example of what I wrote in my Common App. So let's look at description one. So for position, I wrote, I was a writer, 2022 to 2023. I was a president, senior editor at during 2023 to 2024. The organization name, the how. The how is my club name, and Yangon Academy International School is my school name. For description, I wrote published one school newspaper per semester, published two magazine issues per semester, managed 20 writers and 9 designers, gained hands-on interview experiences. So here you see you need to write, you want to say a lot, but you only have like a small amount of space. So make sure like if you can always like use like shortened forms. Like here, I use dash. Another thing is that for this, so let's compare it to description two. Here for position, I wrote writer and senior editor, but I didn't really explain like when was I a writer, when was I a senior editor compared to description one. So if I were an admission officer reading description two, I would think like how like is this student also a writer and a senior editor at the same time? Whereas if I read description one, I can clearly see that during my junior year, I was a writer. I was only a writer, and during a senior year, I was a president. So it showcased your leadership too, just by looking at the position. So for organization name, for description two, it's newspaper club. And that doesn't really tells much. It doesn't really give you a personality even. So newspaper club is very common. There are so many newspaper club around the world with lots of people having newspaper club, right? So you want to show that you have your organization has a name and what school is it from. It's a valid like it's valid it's a valid organization. It's a valid activity that you did. So for description two, it wrote overview the writers and designers in the club. Like if you are a senior editor, it is obvious that you overview writers and designers in your club, right? But if you write how many writers, how many designers you managed, then it really shows how big your club is, how well you are good at communicating and your leaders, and how well do you lead your club. Publish school newspaper and magazine per semester. That doesn't sound very, that doesn't give much information. How many do you, like, it's better to write how many newspaper do you publish? How many magazines do you publish? So you can clearly see the difference. I don't think that if I had written in a description two out of way type of way, I would have been accepted to about how you present your activity. It can be small. It can even be small, but I'm not saying you have to exaggerate. You just have to learn how you can actually showcase your impact, like what you did. Another thing that I usually get is do I or do I not need a resume? So, what I answer is it truly depends on you. Do you have anything more that you would like to show the admission counselor? Do you feel incomplete if you do not give them your resume? If so, then make one. It's very easy to make a resume. I gave an example of the Brown University resume template. Um, so it's usually one page for resume. I submitted a resume to Brown, but um, I didn't follow this resume template, and my resume was a little bit more than one page. So if you ask me what resume template you should use, I think either is fine because someone else who got into Brown used this Brown University resume template and they got accepted. And where for me, I use a colorful type of resume from Canva with pictures and all, and I still got accepted. So so it really doesn't matter unless you have to be very you have to like be very clean though in your resume. It shouldn't be very packed or compact. You know, you shouldn't repeat. I suggest that you don't repeat your activities that you already listed on your Common App on your resume, unless like you really want to talk about in depth about one of your activities that you did, for example, research. I wanted to talk more about my research and other activities that I did. So that's why I submitted a resume. And another thing is that not all school require a resume, and it's completely it's completely optional for you to submit a resume unless you're majoring in like music or art, they require you to send a portfolio or something that you did. So finding the right extracurricular for you. Firstly, think about your hobbies. Do you love reading, drawing, playing a sport, or building things? Think about your experiences. Did you enjoy a particular class project? Did you win an award for something? These can spark ideas for your future exploration. Reflect on your values. Do you care about the environment, social justice, or helping others? Look for activities that align with your values. For me, on my Common App, I very much cared about my values were very much reflected on social justice. I did a lot for social justice, and I would say I did a lot that showcased that I'm a very passionate pre-med student, and that's where I want to go into. So, for example, social justice is like I had a club in my school uh, for called Girl Up. It's about female empowerment and talking about female social justice and about like equality and stuff like that. So like and yeah, and others I did are mainly research, academics, and even and volunteering. Explore your options. Talk to your teachers, your counselors, your friends. You can make, you can brainstorm and find activities together. Look beyond school. This is very important because most of the time people think like they need to list all the school activities. They need to join every single school clubs that they can find at their school and then list them all. No, like that's not right. Because for me, I out of 10 activities I listed, I only have four activities that was affiliated with school. So consider volunteering opportunities in your community, online platforms, creative pursuits, or even part-time jobs that can teach valuable skills. So for me, what I did was I just cold email people, like if I can come and uh, if I can come and intern and stuff like that. So like, so don't be scared to reach out to certain like companies even because they're always willing to help. You just need to have the courage to ask them. Remember, don't just join, make a difference. Going beyond than just being a member is key. Look for ways to take initiative and show your leadership potential. Okay, that doesn't mean being a member is bad. Let's say if you're a member in my Girl Up club, you are either a content writer, you can either join content writing, you can either join fundraising, you can either join um, give creating workshops for students. So being just a being a member, you do all these stuff. So you need to remember to show them that, tell them that you did all this. You did three, you posted three content per week at Girl Up about different topics, right? So you can also like say you can also say like uh because you're a member at volunteer, like if you are a member at a club, you can help out other students at your school, right? So how many students did you help? What did you do to help these students? Like how much did you fundraise? What you can even write about what you fundraise for. Like but of course, I personally believe that if you do have a leadership position in a club, it's better. You can or either you can propose a new project or volunteer initiative at your clubs if you're a member. Track your achievements, awards you receive, milestone you reach, or the impact that you make. Remember that colleges are looking for students who are passionate and engaged, and you need to show that. Finding the right extracurricular activities allow you to demonstrate these qualities and build a strong foundation for your college applications. Another thing is that I see lots of people are interested in research opportunities. I would like to give you a few um, organizations that I recommend. So first is immerse education. Immerse education, it's like it's either you can do it online or you can go there and have and experience a research to do a research paper. And usually it's career oriented. And for me, I, I I did this competition, essay competition. I did not win 100% scholarship, but I received some. So it was, so I did had to pay money to to work with a professor from Oxford and make a research paper. I wrote a research paper on AI, how AI impact medical diagnostics. So I really encourage all of you to apply for these type of essay competitions. You have a chance to win 100% scholarship and even go there in person and and gain this experience. Another thing I would like to tell is this Southeast Asia exchange program. This would be good for people who aren't applying this year because um it runs through January to April. It's completely free. They accept everyone. Therefore, they are for people who want to write, who want to publish research papers. And this is also led by undergraduate students. Another one is Global Research Comp, high school academic research competition. This is this is on Instagram. I can't really find a website for it, but this is a very good uh, opportunity for students like you guys to uh, compete in research and win prizes. You can be tutored by Ivy League professors for to publish a actual research paper. Other ones are like hyper sharing organization. There, they usually share lots of opportunities for for students, or for anyone to intern, or for anyone who's finding jobs, or for anyone who's free and wants to like volunteer. And I'm sure you can find more on Facebook. There are lots and lots of like organizations that you can join. So, passion projects. What are passion projects? Why do admission officers value it so much? Passion projects are self-directed, long-term endeavors based on your deepest interests. They're a chance to dive into a topic you love, explore it independently, and develop new skills along the way. So, and yes, I had a passion project. So for me, I reached out to a civil society organization. I introduced them. I introduced my idea, and it's great. It's better if you have connections, really. So for me, I was very passionate about public health, and I'm from Rakhine. So my passion project was based on alleviating healthcare disparities in Rakhine. And usually, passion projects are something that you start early. So the earlier, the better. It doesn't have to be that big. All you have to show is that you did some impact. So, so like I listed here, deeper exploration. Passion project shows that you delve deeper into the subject that excites you beyond what you learn at your school, beyond what you learn in class. It can show that you learn new skills, for example, like coding, writing, research, even building something creative like websites, robots, a piece of art. For me, most of the time, people I've met and me as well, we base our passion projects on the career path that we want to take or like the major that we want to go into. Passion projects create a unique portfolio showcasing the initiative, creativity, and ability to work independently. Potential impact. They can even spark innovation or a positive change. Maybe your research leads to a community solution, or your writing inspires others. And I did list a few examples of passion projects. For example, creating a blog or a YouTube channel focused on a specific topic that you're passionate about. Or you can write novel or compose music to express your creativity. You can develop a mobile app or website. You can conduct independent research like what I did, or you can build something like a robot, model car, or even a piece of furniture if you're into engineering. And mainly, Uh, please don't forget to show and not only tell. And again, quality over quantity. Don't worry if you don't have that much activities. Uh, all you have to do is you have to show your impact and how good your activities are. They like like they don't want to say that you're joining every single club that you can find just for the sake of putting activity lists on your Common App. Colleges want to see your extracurricular in action, not just a list on your resume. Colleges care greatly about extracurriculars because they go beyond your grade and your test scores. And I believe that's why I got accepted without test scores, that because I showcased my extracurriculars and how passionate I was. Extracurricular also demonstrate your commitment, your perseverance, and how you contribute to your community. And remember, extracurriculars are a fantastic way to explore your passion, develop new skill, and stand out because everyone who applied to the same college as yours already have a great GPA, already have great standardized testing scores, already take like 10 like AP subjects, A-level subjects. So the only thing that you can do to stand out is the difference in your extracurricular commitments. So focus on quality over quantity, find activities you love, and don't hesitate to take initiative. If no one at your school is doing anything and you feel like, oh, like my school is not as good as theirs, I shouldn't be doing this, then that's wrong. You should be able to take initiative and show your leadership by creating clubs if there's none at your school. And that is for all. And there's a friend, and I have a friendly reminder that our Teketo Sito program uh is will be closed in 1 week. So people who are applying, I suggest you to to take note of this. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer.
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါခင်ဗျအခုလိုပြည့်ပြည့်စုံစုံပြောသွားပြီးတဲ့ဟာကိုကျေးဇူးအထူးပဲတင်ရှိပါတယ်ဟိုကလေဟို question ဆေးတွေကိုတော့ကျွန်တော် Q&A ဆိုတဲ့နေရာလေးကနေပဲကျွန်တော်မေးပေးဖို့ကြောက်ကြလို့ပါတယ်ဟုတ်ဒီမှာကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့လူကလည်းများတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်မလို့ကျွန်တော်အိုးတောင်းနေဖြစ်မှာဆိုလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ mute ပိတ်ပြီးတော့ mute ဖွင့်ပြီးစကားပြောခွင့်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာပိတ်ပင်တာပါတယ်
Uh, Someone said that the Q&A section is turned off.
Yes, Antoine, I don't think they can type the question then.
ဘယ်လိုဖြစ်လို့လဲ
Type လို့မပေါ်ဘူး Like
ဟုတ်လား
no open questions ဆိုပြီးတော့ဖြစ်နေတယ် Everyone in this meeting can see open questions ဆိုပြီးတော့ဒါပေမဲ့ type လုပ်ပြီးတော့မေးဖို့မပါဘူးဖြစ်
ကျွန်တော်ရပြီလို့ထင်ပါတယ်ချက်လောက်
Okay ရပြီ
ဟောရတက်လာပြီကျေးဇူးပါ
It says, is it always better to do career-oriented ECs activity which showcase your passion for your careers? For me, that's what I did. I did career-oriented EC activities, but not always. You can also show your hobbies and what you do outside of your career path, you know? Is the manager role the same as Is the manager role the same as leadership one? Yes, I believe so. If you're managing people and that's one way of showing leadership. Yes, I did submit a video for Brown. In my video, about I talked about the downtown and how yeah, like about my culture in Myanmar and how I'm a lover of learning and how like different interests I have. So like it doesn't have to be about like someone said, it doesn't have to be about career oriented because I didn't talk about my career path at all in my Brown videos. So that also shows that uh it doesn't always have to be career oriented. My school doesn't have any specific clubs. Can you recommend some clubs to initiate? It all depends on you. What are you interested in? Are you interested in music? Are you interested in art? Are you interested in sports? Whatever you're interested in, you can initiate it. And for even um, academics clubs. Is Brown really need? Yes, unfortunately, yes. Starting from this year, when you apply Brown, you will need SAT. Yes, it is okay to include activities related to politics because, well, it depends. Because for me, my social justice was kind of related to politics, and I did fundraising activities regarding to that. So you have to write it in a way that's respectful. My AP tuition fees. Oh, you mean my tuition fee at YAIS? I'm not, it's like around 10, 10,000, like 13,000 USD per year, I think. But it might change because applied for, when I attend my school, it was cheaper during the start of year. Oh, for rating ECs, that's quite a lot. You you can what I suggest you to do is you apply to the CHAPE program and all of our admission counselors will rate your ECs. Do you think your extracurricular made an impact than your personal statement essays? Well, they all depend on well, your academics record is also very, very important. You cannot be having bad grades and having stellar essays and great activities and expect to get into a great school. Of course, you have to be well-rounded. Um, I think my extracurriculars showed what I want to do in the future, my passions, and for my personal statement, I think it showed who I really am, outside of the um, outside of the like my extracurriculars, like true me. Uh, and for academic record, it shows that I'm disciplined and, like I try my best to not get bad grades. So if you're asking, you need to make sure that everything is on par. Can I add things that I'm still learning and not an expert in Common App? Yeah, of course. You are like you don't have to be an expert in what you do. If you're learning, if you're still learning, or like if you're if you're still learning, it shows that you have either if it's academic or your interest, you're still doing something. And that's if you can show that you're doing something and you put lots of time into it and you um and you and you're more like uh better than before, if there's like a change, if there's an impact, then you can add in your comment app. Are APs mandatory? No, they're not. But well, if you're from an American, if you're like going to an American curriculum school like me, most of the people choose APs. And if you're going to a British school, most of the students take A levels. And if you go into Burmese school, you have your own matriculation exam. And if you go to IB school, you have your IB exam. So uh, it's different. I have some friends who didn't take any AP classes. They only take like honors classes or regular classes, and they still get admitted to school. But if you do take AP classes, you have a rigorous transcript, and it shows that you're ready for college. Can you apply for Ivies with A levels, or do you need SATs? You can apply to Ivy League with A levels. The founder of Che, he got into yeah, and Wei Yan from here also got into Wei Yan AP. Sorry, I meant the Nyan Lin Tet. He got into great schools with A levels, and for SATs, if your Ivy League schools require SAT, then you have to take SATs. For me, it was optional, so I didn't take SATs. I'm going to apply in a few months for fall 2025. Do I have time to do it? Yes, because I did my research during this summer, before I apply for fall 2020 for, oh, I, I applied for, yeah, I applied for fall 2024. So before my senior year, I did research with Immerse. And how long does a users usually take? For me, it took about usually it can be 1 month, but you can extend 2 months. It doesn't really matter as long as your research is valid. First of all, congrats. Thank you very much. Do you have any awards like us? And yes, I do. There's a section where they ask you to list like 5 honors awards that you get, and I believe I put in like 5 honors. But if you don't have 5 honors, it's okay too. Like it doesn't really like impact on whether you'll get accepted or not. Any suggestion on how I can start a nonprofit online education that want to run an online 1 month course in computer science? Could I still get people signing up if I start a paid business now? Yes, like I said, always take initiative. If you have friends, tell them to share your post, and you need to advertise it. you need to advertise it well. You can always start a nonprofit online education activity. Even for research, to you don't need a professor to help you with it because I did my own self-led research paper on maternal health care by myself. I emailed the I I emailed the I emailed a few professors and a few healthcare workers and interviewed them myself, and I made my own research paper. So if you put your time and effort, you can start anything. I went to major in political science at Brown University. I finished 2 years at university specializing in IR. Can I still apply? I think so. I'm sorry, I'm not very knowledgeable not in transfer application, but I believe if you finish 2 years at a university and you want to switch to a different university, uh you can send in all your scores, and it's similar to uh applying to university first year, apart from the fact that you have to explain why you are transferring. Yes, starting a non-profit organization can be counted as passion project. If I'm passionate about music, especially vocal, how should I prepare for that? Um, if you're passionate in singing, for example, you can most of the time, what people do is you make covers and you post on social media, and you get like lots of views for that, and that's also extracurricular. You're showcasing your talent, your skills, and you're like you're showing your music abilities. That's that's something that you can do to stand out, or you can volunteer to sing at nearby like like ceremonies at your community, parties that throw in your communities, or even at school. For Brown Open Curriculum, is there a mix of different topics in one concentration, or are you allowed to choose two concentration? So for Brown, even though you get accepted to a concentration, you are automatically known as general studies when they give you your I-20 and stuff like that. So that means that only in your second year you can declare a concentration. And you have to talk to your admit, I've talked to a few people about double concentration, and if you if you can prove that you can handle it, then Brown will automatically allow you to have two concentrations. Is it acceptable to participate and yet ended up failing or not winning? It it is acceptable, of course. Like I joined lots of competition. I didn't get anything, and I wrote about it in my resume because what skills did you learn while you are in that competition? Surely you learn more about, for example, if it's STEM competition, you learn about coding, you learn about innovative skills and critical thinking skills and stuff like that. And you can talk about those. Do Ivy League accept GED? I'm sorry, but I'm not very familiar with GED. Uh, like a friend of mine, she didn't take AP or like or A levels, but you can directly email the school asking if they accept certain academic curriculum. Could you give any advice for those who feel as if they're starting their extracurricular too late in comparison to their peers? Of course, it's never too late because I didn't know about extracurriculars until I switched schools until I was in 11th grade and I only had 2 years to do it. But regardless, you see me, I got into my dream school. So it's never too late to start. You need to learn to take initiative. You need to learn to stand up when other people's aren't. And it's never too late to start. Okay, so all you have to do is if you feel like you want to do something, like extracurricular, if you want to start a club, just do it because there are always people who will follow along and will appreciate that you started something. I'm planning to join architecture major. Could you recommend me what more extracurricular activities should I join in the future? For architecture major, it'll be I think like art art related extracurriculars or interning at like construction some I've met people who intern at construction sites who draw like interior design and stuff like that for for companies if so you have to reach out. I'm sorry if that's very bland because I'm a pre-med major, so I'm more knowledgeable in the pre-med part. What kind of scholarship, whatever, when we get kind of scholarship, whatever, which is financial aid or fully funded, do we still need to prove some amount of money? Mm, under what topic? For the first question, yeah, when I apply for financial aid, I have to show them my okay, Wayne will answer that question. Another thing, the second question that you asked is under the topic family responsibility are houseworks included? Uh the houseworks are for your whole family, right? Like uh you like I said, if you just write washing dishes, they wouldn't be impressed. You need to learn how to taking care of how many members in your family. 4 members, 5 members in my family, taking care of. So you need to learn how to describe it very well. About the foreign language, does it mean when we are fluent in one language, we can teach others or make some good things for our, those are both teaching others is a good thing. So if you know a foreign language and you teach other kids, other people, the language that you're fluent in, that's that's an extracurricular. I think internship is only for the students who have finished their bachelor degree. Well, not necessarily. I I interned in a medical clinic even though I was still in high school. You don't have to do big things for internships. You learn in your internships. You shadow for me, I shadowed my doctor. She taught me like how to do blood tests and etc. And that's how I assist her in. So if you're finding for internships, the best you can do is ask if you can intern or if you know someone from that company or organization and email them if you can. If you want to go to an Ivy League, do you need a lot of ECs? Like I said, quality over quantity. But yeah, so if you want to get into a top school, your ECs should really impress your admission officers. You need to really show your impact. Again, write well instead of just, listing all the activities that you've done. My immerse education essay it's on It depends on like what they ask you. They sometimes give, for me, they give out a question. I don't really remember anymore, but like it's usually about a question that they give and you have to answer that. Will it be okay to join? Yeah, it is okay to join the Academia Sido program. Uh, for if you plan to study in US, you just have to submit an application before July 8th. At least, is it enough to apply colleges with only GCSE plus SAT? Well, I'm not quite sure about this, but when I was in IGCSE, I thought about that too. But the thing was, for me, when I emailed the schools, they said no because IGCSE for them is like 10th grade level. So, so from my experiences, it's like that. Do you have any, do you have to write a college essay for Brown? If so, do you have any advice for the essay? Um, I wrote college, I wrote a lot of college essays for Brown because they asked a lot of questions. Um, an advice that I had when I told myself is what I want to show the admission officer, not what they want to see in me. I like during my essays, I want to go to a school that truly accepts who I am and who wants me for who I am. So when you're writing essays, just remember, you're showing your authentic self. So that's my biggest advice to give. And that way you can easily write your essays because I had a hard time writing essays during my early actions because I thought so I overthink a lot about what the admission officers would want to see in me instead of what I want to show them. Uh, how do you get Ivy League professors to do research with you? Unfortunately, we're from Myanmar, so we can't really cold email them. So I suggest that you join like organizations that like mine, like Immerse and stuff like that, and get get scholarships from there. Try apply to online research competitions, like essay competitions, and if you are selected, you have opportunity to meet those professors and do research with them, and that's how I did it. Do you think it's better to start a new organization and be a founder rather than just join international? For those who feel uncomfortable with high-ranking positions but still want university to, yeah, I it is it it is okay to if you feel uncomfortable, but like high-ranking position do is not just be a member, not just be a member that just sits there and do nothing. You have to show your impact. You have to show what you did. You have to tell the admission officers that because you join this organization, it improved something. I only got 413 marks on my metric days. I assume that's a low mark, so does it impact my okay, so if you have a low score on your matriculation exams, I suggest you take the standardized test that America gives so that and then get a high score there because some I've met people who didn't really have a great transcript but have stellar SAT results and managed to get into good schools. I published my research paper with Immerse There are other websites that you can also publish in, like academia, where you can let other people read your research paper. I want to apply for a psychology major for that reason. If I add swimming and photography, will it match my ACs? Of course, like it's okay to add ECs that is not your major. Like me, I added like horse riding and stuff like that, which has nothing to do with my major at all. It's just to show what my hobbies are and what I'm like other outside interests that I have from my career. Can I write about extracurriculars that a long time ago, about 6 years? For example, I was a member of a football team when I was about 12. Um, so in Common App, everything starts from grade 9. So I suggest you pick activities that you have done starting from grade 9. Everyone told me Ivy Leagues are very difficult for Asians, especially from traditional Burmese schools. Oh, don't. Well, not really. I've met so many great students from Burmese schools who go to top 20 universities in America. So all you like I said, you have your grades. It can it's different from America, of course. It's a You're from Burma, so your curriculum will be different. The rest is practically the same. Your extracurricular is like you can write anything from your extracurriculars, right? And another thing is standardized test scores. Even though I didn't take it, it's like I consider myself very lucky for this, but I think if you take standardized test scores, then it can really improve your chance to get in, showing that if you can get a great score on their standardized test, you will do well at their school too. So it doesn't really matter if you're from like a Burmese school or international school. For MS education, it for me, I when I write about the essay competition, it was more of a creative style. And then when I did my research paper, it was like my professor taught me how to write a proper research paper. So yeah. Uh, will I be able to apply Ivy League with GED, SAT, IELTS? Can Wei Yan answer this question? I'm not sure about the major I want. So what ECs do you suggest I anything that you think that you will have fun and anything that you think it's worth your time, it's worth your energy, it's something that you love, then you can participate in all those ECs that you think about. It doesn't have to be about career your career or what major you want to take. I've done projects which relate to my major in my school after every school year. Now I'm a third year student, so can it be passion projects? Well, mainly passion projects takes time. So if your project that you are doing is is something that you've done for a long time and something that you're passionate about and something that you want to tell the admission officer, then you can call it a passion project. Usually, since passion projects are huge, not small, most of the time people have uh, like only one or two passion projects. If you had done more extracurricular after you have written, fortunately, if you are like you if you get deferred, I think, like, and you still want to be considered, like you can show them like what stuff that you did, like apart after they deferred you to so that they can reconsider you and you might get accepted again. If not, if you already like applied for the school, then uh, I don't think that you can change it. Just how do I take those into account? How do I take those into? Surely volunteering involves more than one person required. Will do co-op. Uh, well, if you want to if you want to volunteer, uh, if you know what you should do for ECs, but if you're asking like, oh, how do I start doing ECs? Uh, it's very easy. All you have to do is find opportunities. Like take your time. What I did was I always like after school I always research what more I can do and I make a list of like like organizations I want to do or like new ideas I want to do. I talk with my friends about it and you can always start something. If I don't have any certificates from what I did, such as undertaking family responsibility, it is okay to mention because not everyone has certificates. For me, my passion projects did not have certificates at all. Like, um, be true to be very, very true to yourself. How do you suggest we start tutoring other students? Well, if you have a tutoring account, there are like groups on Facebook, like that ask for tutors and you can just introduce them yourself, like, oh, I'm a tutor looking for if any students are looking for this tutor, you can all contact me. That's how you can start tutoring students, or you can just ask your underclassmen if they need any tutoring. Could you share about majors related to medicine, biology later, as you want to know? Um, yeah, uh, major like honestly, in America, it's very different from UK. So, uh, main mainly if you want to if you want majors related to medicine or biology, it can be engineering, it can be biochemistry, it can be public health even. Uh, Sometimes people who got into medical school didn't even take a major related to biology or medicine at all. That's I think that's a completely different approach when it comes to applying for like med school and stuff. How do political activism considered in it? Um, so for me, I talked about social justice. It falls under social justice category. Would it be all right even if the activities that I took were not related to career? Yes, it is okay if it's not related to career. It doesn't always have to be related to career. We have our own different preferences, right? So, so like if I have to like honestly say, it depends on how you showcase yourself. You need to brand yourself well to the admission counselor, a- admission officer. And yeah, because like I was career, I talked a lot about my like I put a lot about career oriented stuff, right? That got me into Brown, but that didn't get me into other schools. So it really depends on like how you like show your passion and stuff like that. Oh, can Wei answer that? Yeah. So another thing someone asked, I have a GPA of 3.3, total point. Mm, if you if you have um if you have like if you can get into their like range of academic like that they asked for, and if you have like good ECs and good essays, then you can certainly apply for LACs or any other colleges. I did IGCSE, SAT, IELTS, GED. Well, if what else should you prepare is you have good essays. You have to write good essays if other criteria for you is already good enough. For this is for when I applied to Brown, it was need aware. So when I asked for the financial aid, they did say that it is a factor when it comes to my acceptance. But some schools like um, Dartmouth and my school this year, they're going need blind for international students. So which means that even if you ask for financial aid, it won't lower your chances of getting into your college. Are all Ivy League need? I'm not quite sure. I don't quite know other Ivy Leagues because I only applied to Brown for Ivy League, but you can always search up and they always have this new they always update their website about what stuff that you need to do for admission. I did my research at Immerse Education and I also did it independently. No, I don't think 23 is it's late to apply for university. There are so many people who are applying to university with like 30 years old and stuff. I don't think it affect your chances of getting in. GPA scores, it depends on your school. Some schools have, you can ask your uh, counselor to calculate it for you. Because for me, my counselor calculated it. Some schools have four scales, some schools have five scales. My school, for example, didn't have weighted. So all our GPA was unweighted. How to write essays if I do not have anything related to the major I want? Oh, that's very easy. I didn't write about for my essays, like if you're talking about Common Up essays, I didn't write anything about my career at all. I wrote about superstitions and those myths that we have in Myanmar. So, you need like when you write your essays, you show your creative writing skills. I think that's the main thing. Unless they ask a question about career, about your major, about like what concentration you want to like what concentration you look forward to at a specific school. Oh, for recommendation letters, it varies with schools. Usually is two teachers at your school and one counselor recommendation. And for Brown, I also added another recommender, which is who was my professor. You write a lot of English poems. Yeah, you can mention it. Maybe perhaps you can um like share them to the internet or like write a poem like an English poem book, you know? So those are like remember to show impact, not just do them. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you for coming, and I hope my answers um are well for you.
Okay, ပါအဲ့ဒါဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အခုလိုမျိုးပြည့်ပြည့်စုံစုံပြောကြားပြီးသွားတယ်မယုံရီအောင်ကျွန်တော်အားလုံးကိုစားကျွန်တော်အထူးပဲကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာအားလုံးတက်ရောက်ပြီးကြတဲ့လူအားလုံးကိုလည်းပဲကျွန်တော်ကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်နောက်တစ်ခုအနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ volunteer နဲ့ပတ်သက်လို့ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ Jade the Hope မှာလည်းမကြခင်မှာ volunteer တွေကျွန်တော်တို့ recruit လုပ်ဖို့ရှိပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာကျွန်တော် page လေးကိုစောင့်ကြည့်ပြီးတော့မှစိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာလာပြီး apply လုပ်ဖို့လည်းပဲကျွန်တော် welcome လုပ်ပါတယ်ထွေးကြောင်ပဲကျွန်တော်အားလုံးပဲပြောကြလို့ပါတယ်အားလုံးပဲ extracurricular activity တွေကို share plan နဲ့လုပ်နိုင်ကြပြီးတော့မိကြီးမနာတွေ take တို့တွေကိုတက်ရောက်နိုင်ပါစေကျွန်တော်ဆန္ဒပြုပါတယ်အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာညချမ်းလေးပါကျေးဇူးပါ